It'll be Illinois to start with the football, and you saw Viangelo Bentley, a very dangerous return man, back deep, as Sam Ficken will send it deep. Viangelo Bentley, the first player in Illinois history with a touchdown via kick return, punt return, interception return, and fumble return. So he knows how to score. Here, he doesn't even know how to get back to the 10-yard line. So Illinois is pinned deep. And Wes Lunt, the sophomore Oklahoma State transfer at quarterback, he has had some type of injury roller coaster throughout his entire career. From high school, through in and out of the lineup as a freshman at Oklahoma State, in and out of the lineup in his sophomore transfer season here at Illinois.
He has great arm talent. This kid can throw the ball. Both these quarterbacks, it's windy down on the field. Both these quarterbacks, their ball will cut through this wind.
And Wes Lunt starts in the air, and a safe pass out to the edge that is good for a first down to Malik Turner. Let's take a look at our impact players when Illinois has the football.
Well, normally you don't really talk about a freshman, but Mike Dudek is a guy who he's dynamic. He has an ability to make plays down the field. He can catch it short and deep. Anthony Zettel is a kid inside for Penn State. He's the motor that makes his defense run.
Donovan Young on the run here for about 3 yards to the 21-yard line, brought down by Jordan Lucas.
Anthony Zettel, he is the guy on this defense. Even when he doesn't make the tackle, he makes the play. Like on that last particular play, his penetration was the difference in the play.
Illinois wants to run a play about every 15 seconds. So They practice going as quickly as possible and as quickly as possible. Down to the turf goes Wes Lunt. There's Zettel as 7th sack of the season.
Zettel on one side, Barnes off the other, Alanian also. Watch this, right inside. This guy, his first 2 steps, they better give him help inside or that will be a problem all game long. That's not good inside. That's Alex Hill, number 52. He went past him like he was standing still.
So 3rd down and 15. Only a 3-man rush for Penn State. And that forces Lunt into a check down intended for Mike Dudek. So after picking up a first down, Illinois got it out to about their own 20-yard line, but they'll be forced to kick it back to Penn State. So we'll see Hackenberg for the first time, most likely with very good field position.
And Shoes, that's exactly what Illinois couldn't afford. They need to string together first downs. Even if they don't get a score, they need to play the field position game, and they need some confidence. Because right now, this is a beat-down group.
Justin Duvernois, number 2 in the Big Ten, averaging about 45 yards per kick. We'll try and change field position if he can, and this will take an Illinois hop at midfield and get touched at about the 48-yard line. So as we said, we expected good field position for Christian Hackenberg, and that's exactly what he has. Now, 7 touchdowns against 14 interceptions. If you're just looking at the stat sheet, those would be alarming numbers for a player that last year had about a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It's flipped back in the opposite direction this year, but today, as you said, Miles Diefenbach, Donovan Smith back on the offensive line. That should make a big difference.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing, is this offensive line back together. And they've got to be able to establish the run game here early.
They'll run it on first down with Bill Belton, and he won't get much.
We talk about Hackenberg, and we go in and we look at it differently, Shoes, and so we'll go in and we'll put the tape on, and you'll start looking at, okay, look at his physical attributes. They're phenomenal. You look at his ability to be able to run, make the throws, all those things, and then you start looking at around him, supporting cast. And he's had some problems in that interior line and also with his receivers down the field, not separating down the field. That's a problem.
Here comes the blitz. The check down works to perfection. Belton out on the edge, and it looks like he's got a first down. He'll be a yard short. Stepped out, setting up 3rd and 1 as we take a look at our impact players. And Miles Diefenbach at left guard. Not normally would a left guard be the impact player, but that matchup jumped out at you.
Well, and it's because of what he brings. Not only does he bring a solidification of the offensive line, but he also brings leadership skills and an ability to be able to communicate. And then on the other side, I'll tell you, TJ Neal, number 52, that kid, they don't even know how good this kid's going to be. He's got some very good instincts.
They'll run Wildcat with Akil Lynch on 3rd down and 1, and it looks as if he has the first down.
Penn State offense, the Penn State offense really, they've been kind of learning themselves as the season's gone on. This offensive line has been all over the place. It's been a patchwork. And then you know, you have a head coach and a new staff learning the offense. You have the kids learning the coaching staff. It takes time.
Akil Lynch up the middle, and he's got a first down. 11 more yards for Akil Lynch. Taylor Barton and Eaton Spence eventually brought him down.
Well, this whole thing is just all up front, and it's just what they're hoping to be able to get. Nice blocking down the field by this offensive line on that right side. And then Akil Lynch is a big man. He's a guy who he's a one-cut guy. Once he sees it, he can be decisive. That's a big body coming downhill.
He had 130 yards rushing, a career high last week in the win over Temple. They'll try Akil Lynch again. 5-yard gain on first down, and our first opportunity to head back and say hi to Adnan Virk. Opening possession in the first quarter for Penn State, Adnan. And they're in business as Hackenberg on the slant. A low throw that's scooped up by Deshaun Hamilton, but that's good enough for another Nittany Lion first down.
And so when Penn State is going to get this type of first down running, first and second down running, and you're getting into 3rd and manageable or 2nd and short, that's when James Franklin feels like he's ahead of the chains, and that's his advantage. And that's when he can dictate the game calling.
3 years at Vanderbilt for James Franklin before getting the Penn State job. And in his last 2 years at Vandy, 9-4, both years concluding with bowl wins. That's the first time that ever happened for Vanderbilt football. No gain on first down for Belton. Taylor Barton, who's the 3rd leading tackler for the Illini, came up to make the stop. 2nd down and 10 in the red zone.
Yeah, Taylor Barton is best when he's down around the line of scrimmage, and he's a solid tackler. He has pretty good instincts, but what I like about him is he takes good angles. And so when he's most effective, you'll hear him called a lot, his name called a lot in the run game.
Eighth play of the drive for Penn State. Draw play. Trying to turn the corner is Belton. Can't do it. Well diagnosed by Barton. Maybe a half-yard gain. Now it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, they came with a blitz, took away the inside, which is where Belton wanted to be able to get to. You see the pressure coming up inside, so he has to abandon and get to the edge. He's able to get the edge, but Barton does a nice job of cleaning it up.
3rd down and 9. And vital for Illinois to play well defensively in the red zone. They are not a high-powered offensive team. Neither is Penn State. It should be a low-scoring game, which makes red zone possessions that much more vital. Long throw to the end zone for Hackenberg, and he's got a hookup with Godwin, who lost the ball on his way down, but they say it's a touchdown. Chris Godwin, the true freshman, catches a perfectly thrown ball by Christian Hackenberg, and Penn State strikes first.
And so Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator for Illinois, he opts to go with a blitz. There's the catch.
The ball pops out.
The ball
and you
pops
wonder,
out at the end. Let's see if he had control. Once they kick this, it's over.
Will they review?
No.
That's down the middle on the point after for Sam Ficken.
His matchup with the freshman Godwin against the safety.
The first touchdown reception of Chris Godwin's Penn State career. And let's go back and see why that route combination created the space that Godwin needed.
Okay, couple things. Nice protection inside. You're going to need the back to do it also. That's the first thing. Second thing is he sees what he has down the field, and he sees it's man-to-man. So now he knows the route combination. He's going to take this and move this here. He's going to hold this here. This is what he wants to throw to. The key then becomes Godwin right here. He has to beat that guy and get on top. It's against the safety, and he has the time, and the throw's perfect.
At the 25-yard line now, it's Illinois. Second possession starts off the way the first possession suffered. No gain on first down for Young. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, you start running to the inside, you're talking about Zettel, but the other half of that duo is right there, Anthony Johnson. That kid's just a sophomore, 315 pounds. That kid's a beast. He will be an All-American before he's out of here.
We'll be saying that all day. That kid's just a sophomore. That kid's just a freshman.
You're right.
That guy's a redshirt freshman. When you talk about Penn State, it is amazing how young the roster is. Of course, all of that goes back to the tragedy of the Jerry Sandusky drama at Penn State. And our first opportunity to check in with Quinn.
Bob, this Illinois offensive line so far struggling mightily. Playing without two starters today late in the season, Simon Sivjanovic and Ted Karras. And Karras is their top guy. He's a tone setter for this group. They've moved Joe Spencer from guard to center. We'll keep an eye on 71 in orange. He's got short arms, but a lot of moving parts. A unit right now defined by inexperience, being held together by duct tape, facing a very good Penn State front.
It's been that way all season up front, hasn't it, for Illinois?
Yeah, it really has. And here's the key right now for Penn State. Look at this. They're going to give you pressure with 3. Last time they did get pressure, that means they're dropping 8. It's going to be tough for Lunt to throw into.
Strong throw to the sideline by Lunt.
Good throw.
About a yard shy of the first down. John Davis, the tight end, got to the sideline. It'll be third down and 1.
And so what Shoup does, he ends up bringing a blitz out of it. They bring Hull on the outside, and it's man-to-man, and the coverage is right there. Excellent coverage, and forces his fourth down.
Pardon me, fourth down. So rather than take a chance inside their own 35-yard line.
This is a spot right here, Shoes. Now, it's probably too early, and you'd give up field position. But in a game like this, this is where you'd see fake field goals and that type of thing. Penn State will have to be aware of that.
So Duvernois to punt for the second time. A line drive kick, fielded on the run by Della Valle. And great field position again for Penn State. Hackenberg hands off to Belton. And he's dragged down right at the line of scrimmage by Jihad Ward.
Jihad Ward, he's got lots of talent. He hasn't quite figured out. He's a junior college transfer. He's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Playing right defensive end. They play him on the left side as well. But he's got nice long arms. He's strong. He's a smart guy. He's going to be a good player. He's not quite there yet.
Play action. Hackenberg has room to run, and instead he tries to get it to Kyle Carter, but Carter can't handle it on the dive. Now it's third down and long. Hackenberg had a lot of room off the bootleg if he just tucked it under.
Yeah, well, you trust your arm first, and that's what it's designed for, and this should be a catch. He threw it out a little out in front of him, but Carter got to go get that ball.
So a chance for the Illinois defense to shut down the Penn State terrific field position. Hackenberg got the ball just about right here. First possession for Penn State, went down and scored a touchdown. 4-man rush for Illinois. Hackenberg well protected, but miscommunication with his receivers. No one was home at the 40-yard line, so it is 3 downs and out for Penn State.
Yeah, there's a miscommunication there. That he threw it to nothing. He's going to try to hit his tight end coming down, and he'll end up being down outside here. And that's outstanding coverage. That's great coverage right there. I didn't see the number. I think it was Ernest Thomas. I wasn't sure.
Darius Mosley back to receive the punt. It is a fake, and this works to perfection for Penn State. Brad Barrs, fifth-year defensive end, rumbles 32 yards. And Penn State with a trick play on special teams.
I want you to watch number 28, Troy Apke. What a fantastic job he does on the outside. The fake is there all the way, but Apke's block gives them all the room for that run. Bars look like they timed it with a what do you call those things? Sundial.
Akil Lynch, the lone setback, as Penn State with trickeration has it in plus territory, and here's Deshaun Hamilton on the jet sweep down the sideline. And the Nittany Lions are right back in the red zone, 2nd down and 2.
So we talk about Illinois in this type of game, thinking you may have some kind of trickery, and Penn State busts theirs out. That was an excellent call, and that's outstanding special teams and a good job of knowing you going into this thing. You always have that in your back pocket. It's the right time to call it by Penn State. Yeah, that's a highlight for him.
Close to a first down, and it looks like it is a first down carry for Akil Lynch at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 for Penn State.
So what Penn State wanted to be able to do is have this offensive line. It's the first time all season that they have the starting 5 that they've wanted. And what they wanted them to do was to establish themselves and get into some kind of rhythm and establish the run game. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Akil Lynch right up the middle, down to the 5-yard line, and slightly inside for a gain of 6 on first down. Taylor Barton made the stop.
It's a nice job by the right side of that Penn State offensive line right there. It's just been power. And you have Mangiero inside there, and Guy at number 72, and Andrew Nelson, just a redshirt freshman. They are establishing the line of scrimmage right now. They're moving it.
Penn State already with 101 yards of total offense to only 15 for Illinois. Another handoff, and met at the 5-yard line was Akil Lynch. TJ Neal, who jumped out to you on tape as maybe the most active defensive player that Illinois has.
Yeah, TJ Neal, he's a Pennsylvania kid, but he is number 52 right there on your screen. He has excellent, he sees things very well. He's got excellent instincts. He runs extremely well. He has, when I watch him, he has some Mike Singletary in him. He's not a guy who can stand alone. He needs to be covered a little bit, but he's a very good player.
Big play here for the Illinois defense to try and get a stop on 3rd down. Hackenberg hands it once again to Lynch, and they get that stop. Now what does Penn State do? Rob Bain tripped up Lynch at about the 2.5-yard line. So it's 4th down and at least 1.5 yards.
He'll take the point.
And it looks like it will be a field goal for James Franklin. That'll be the decision. It'll be a chip shot for Sam Ficken, but a good stop after the fake punt in the red zone for Illinois. Defensively, they easily could have fallen behind by 14. Is it another fake, or was it a fumbled snap? Chris Gullah, the punter, may have bobbled as he tried to get a clean placement down for Sam Ficken. And talk about a huge dodge bullet for Illinois. On the field goal, a bobbled snap by the holder, Chris Gullah, allows Illinois to dodge a bullet, get the football back. And here's Geronimo Allison weaving his way to the 16-yard line for a gain of 5.
Geronimo Allison's just a young receiver, kind of hit the wall, but they need to get him integrated back into this offense because he can make some things happen.
Hand off to Devin Church. for 2 yards. So third down coming up for Illinois. And Quint, quick injury update for the Illini.
Yeah, Viangelo Bentley, their best cornerback, kick returner, punt returner, hurt on an opening kickoff. He hurt his left knee. They evaluated his knee. They put him in a brace. He didn't like the way it feels. So Bentley is in the locker room right now. He hasn't played since that opening kickoff.
And he is not only a good cover corner, but a lethal return man. So that's a big loss for Illinois if he's not able to return. And now the Illini faced with third down and 3. Four-man rush for Penn State. Lunt underneath, short of the first down, even if it's a completion, which it is not, to Mike Dudek. So 3 downs and out for Illinois once again. And they're not even changing field position. Penn State should get the ball in great territory again.
Yeah, this is exactly what they couldn't afford to happen. Now, they're just coming out in a bunch. And Dudek is the guy they want to get the ball to. He's the guy they have the most confidence in. And to be honest with you, he's probably their best receiver.
3 possessions for Illinois. They've only run 10 plays, and Della Valle at midfield once again. And it's another knuckleball line drive. Fair catch made right at the 50-yard line. So for the third time, Penn State will have the ball right near midfield as we head back to Adnan.
After the fair catch, it will be 1st and 10 for Penn State at the Illinois 49-yard line. 33-yard line.
Well, Adnan, in terms of field position, it's been all Penn State. Illinois has been able to keep the score at only 7-0, but Penn State with 3 possessions now, basically all right at midfield. And Christian Hackenberg looks to go back to work here. Throws the deep ball on the run. Incomplete, just barely missing Deshaun Hamilton. That's Darius Mosley there in coverage on the field, replacing Viangelo Bentley, at least for the time being.
Yeah, and they knew exactly where they wanted to get to. And so they were going to get to the outside, but it was a double move, which really doesn't do you any good when they're playing him in a zone like that. He's just going to keep on bailing. If you have a read on the run, which that wasn't, that was going to be no matter what, they were going to take the shot. When you get a guy bailing like that, you just sit down. And
a toss to the short side of the field, running into his own man was Lynch as he bumped into his tight end Mike Jasicki. So it'll be third down and long, and Jameis Winston, number 3 Florida State, looking to stay unbeaten against Boston College. Doak Campbell will be rocking this afternoon, Saturday afternoon football on ABC or ESPN2, coming up at 3:30 Eastern. And how about how old we are all getting? Tomorrow is the 30th anniversary of Flutie's Hail Mary in the Orange Bowl. Third down and 9. Illinois only brings a 4-man rush. Hackenberg rolls right into it. And the sack by Lakeith Walls backs up Penn State. They'll be forced to punt after going 3 and out.
that's on Hackenberg. He could have stayed inside, and he didn't. And they're going to try to, they try to use the wind here if they can for the punt. That's the end of the quarter.
So the quarter clock rolls down. You may have wanted to call a first half timeout there to punt with the wind at your back. Was a timeout called? They did call a timeout.
Clock to 5 seconds.
That's a smart move with the wind blowing. Why kick into the wind? And Quint, maybe we can check down with you at how strong that wind feels right now. We've seen Duvernay punt into it a couple of times, and he has hit a couple of knuckleballs. And Penn State, obviously, Quint wanted to avoid that same circumstance, getting a timeout in.
Yeah, it has been worse than it is right now. Right to left across your screen, a little in the face of the Illinois sideline, coming diagonally across the field, maybe about 10 to 15 miles an hour. At times, it has gotten as high as about 20 miles an hour, but right now it's a little closer to only 10. But the timeout was a smart move by James Franklin.
What wasn't a smart move was by Hackenberg to try to bail and get out. He could have stayed inside and had room and would have bought some time to throw, but he got a little impatient and got out on the edge.
Well, Duvernay has punted 3 times. All 3 have been under 40 yards. So the freshman Daniel Pasquarello now with a chance with the wind at his back to pin the Illini deep. He's got the intentional end-over-end kick down to the 15-yard line. And Darius Mosley struggled at first. Now he spins out to about the 29. In Big Ten play, no wins year one, one win last year, one win so far in the conference this year. Here's Wes Lunt to throw down the sideline, wide open was Matt Lacoste, the tight end, and Lunt couldn't drop it in, so a missed chance for a big play for Illinois sets up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, you're going to have Lacoste. He's going to get on the top side of Lucas. But the ball just took off on Lunt, and that was an opportunity that they had to take advantage of.
Seemed like the wind at Lunt's back hurt him there. This time he shoots one up the seam, and he threw it behind Dudek. So it's now 3rd down and 10.
Jason Cabinda, just a freshman, getting a start here today. He actually played that pretty well. That had an opportunity, but Cabinda did a nice job of dropping in coverage and getting in front of the receiver.
Here comes the Penn State blitz. And Lunt throws it way over the head of Matt Lacoste, who I guess he thought was going on a go route down the sideline, but Lacoste broke his route off. So it's another miscommunication. And a 3-and-out for Illinois as they waste good field position with the wind at their back.
And he had time. They picked up the blitz. He had time. He could have been a little more judicious. The coverage was there. Jordan Lucas, the corner, had good coverage on Lacoste.
So Duvernois with some wind helping him out.
Wow.
And you could see the difference in the result. This will hop into the end zone. Could have easily taken a hop out of bounds. So a bad break for Illinois from their own 20-yard line. It's still Darius Mosley, the sophomore, at left corner. 1st down handoff. Bill Belton for about 5 yards. And again, let's check in with Adnan. Adnan, Northwestern right now in unfamiliar territory in the Big Ten, below 500. As Pat Fitzgerald has that program in a place where I'm sure 20 years ago no one thought that they would be. But unfortunately now for Illinois towards the bottom of the standings, Matt, it's become all too familiar territory. And when you see a crowd like this on senior day, you wonder if the most compelling story around Illinois football right now is the future of Tim Beckman.
Well, and that's the big question. And it's the question in the stands. It's also in the question in the locker room. And that has to have some kind of an effect.
3rd down and 5 as the Illini try to get a stop. Hackenberg in the shotgun. Well protected. Buying some time. Wide open over the middle is Lynch on the check down. And that's an easy 3rd down conversion for Penn State. They pick up 16.
Well, you said it in your call, and there's a lot of time to be able to throw. And so they're picking up the blitz, and then Lynch is able to sneak through. You always have somebody over the ball facing the quarterback. That's what Lynch did.
Lynch again for about 1.5 yards.
The one thing, they have their offensive line back, okay, and they felt good about that going into this, but the Fighting Illini defensively up front, they're not getting run on. I mean, it's not like they're getting mauled right now. They're actually taking the run game away. They're still putting it back into Hackenberg's hands. Eventually, they're going to get to the play action game and they start feeling pretty good about this run game.
Lynch again, a gain of 1 yard. Jihad Ward made the stop, so it's 3rd down and 7. And this is an Illinois defense that is 111th in the country in scoring, 114th in total defense, 121st against the run. So if they're getting any kinds of stops against the Penn State run game early, that's a story.
Yeah, and their defensive coordinator is Tim Banks. Well, he's doing a lot of stunts and movement up here today, and it's been effective.
Illinois shows blitz. They rush 5 on 3rd down, but they run right into it. DeJazz Woods there to make the stop on Lynch on 3rd down and 7. Penn State runs the ball right into the heart of the Illinois defense, and they'll have to punt.
Well, watch Andrew Nelson right here, the right tackle. Watch his set. He's setting completely for an up the field rush, and he backed out, and I believe he made a mistake right there because I saw them talking amongst each other, and usually when that happens, there's a bust inside.
A rugby-style kick, Pasquarello. And it hops down inside the 25-yard line as a fair catch was called for by Mosley, but he couldn't get to the football.
Yes.
12 inches, 13 inches, whatever it takes.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Lunt to throw on first down, swings it out in the flat to Mike Dudek, and the true freshman scoops up the sideline, and he's very close to a first down. Out to the 35-yard line, that's a gain of 11. And another good block out on the edge by a true freshman in Malik Turner.
Yeah, Malik Turner stays with it. And he gets put on his back a little bit, but really that whole thing came back to Dudek because he stayed with the edge and took it.
Lunt rolls and throws it airmail style, incomplete into the Penn State bench. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Penn State has been able to get pressure here with 4 guys. And and they've been able to handle their run game. They have negative rushing yards, and they've been able to get pressure with the 4 down people. And that's a huge advantage for any defense.
Naeem Wortman showed blitz, and we'll see if Lunt either changes the play, might be adjusting the protection. Just a 4-man rush. Underneath, the tight end, Matt Lacoste, for a gain of close to 7. Wortman made the stop. That brings up 3rd down and a long 3.
And smart by Lunt, just lets it develop. They've got to get this guy off the field, and they do.
Was able to substitute, and here they bring the blitz. Lobbing it to no man's land is Lunt. Flag out. Dudek, the intended receiver, got tied up with Marcus Allen. And the true freshman safety for Penn State looks like will be flagged.
Dudek is the guy they trust the most. He's just a freshman, but he is talented.
Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Marcus Allen's got some nice size to him.
Correction, 10 yards.
6'2", 196. True freshman from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, who's brought a very physical aspect to the Penn State defense, according to James Franklin, but cost his team 10 yards at a first down there. Now into plus territory for the first time is Illinois. Lunt on a rollout, being chased. Does he feel the pressure? He does not. Did well to protect the ball. C.J. Olanian gets the sack. That's a loss of 6.
Olanian came a long way. He came opposite side. They rolled away from him. Credit the coverage down the field. Lunt had nowhere to go with the ball, and Olanian just ran him down. And at the end, what I like is he tried to get the strip sack. That shows you good coaching, actually.
Play clock winding down. Lunt gets his team set 4 to get the snap off.
Keep your eyes on Dudek. He's in the slot. He's right here.
Didn't get it off. Either a timeout was called or it's delay of game. It looks like Tim Beckman called timeout from the sideline.
Their first timeout.
Bill Cubitt, the offensive coordinator, looks displeased.
Charge of everything. He runs the show on this Penn State defense.
James Franklin said he's a prototypical Big Ten football player. Lunt underneath on 2nd down and long finds Josh Ferguson. Josh Ferguson is number 10 all-time in receptions at Illinois, and only the 2nd running back in the top 10 in Illinois history catching the football. Excellent dual threat player that makes it 3rd down and manageable now, 3rd down and 8.
Penn State still able to get pressure with just 4 down people.
Only a 3-man rush here. And Lunt slides incomplete. In and out of the hands of Malik Turner. So now it's 4th down and 8. And it will be a punt from midfield.
That's nice coverage by Grant Haley. But again, they're able to get some kind of, watch Illini, he just takes him and just puts him in the backfield. And that's nice coverage, nice close by Haley, and gets his hands in. See, when the receiver reaches, he reaches also. Well done.
Another true freshman who had a pick 6 last week against Temple. Duvernois trying to pooch it down the sideline, and it takes a hop inside the 15 and goes out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Saturday Night Football on ABC features the crosstown rivalry. Number 9 UCLA against number 19 USC in a pivotal showdown in the Pac-12 South. Saturday Night Football on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific tonight.
So we're halfway through the second quarter. Penn State has pretty much had their way with Illinois, but it's only a 1-score game. And so Illinois has gained a little bit of confidence here defensively. They've taken away the run game, and they've not been able to really do that much this season. The longer this game stays close, the more confident they'll become.
And off to Akil Lynch. And again, the run is shut down on first down by Mason Monheim, who's second only to Hull in tackling per game in the Big Ten. Monheim averages 9.8 tackles per game.
Very similar players. Probably doesn't run as well as Hull. Hull can really run. But this kid, great instinct, sees things really well. He reacts extremely well. And he's the guy who gets everybody on the same page defensively. Real smart kid.
Biggest factor in the game so far has been field position. And it had to do a lot with the wind in the first quarter. Here's the first chance for Illinois to pin Penn State deep and maybe force them to kick it into the wind. Hackenberg with a swing pass to Lynch. Out close to the 20-yard line. So here's your chance if you're Illinois. The only touchdown we've had scored, Penn State used the short field with the wind at their back, and Hackenberg threw a touchdown pass on the first possession of the game for the Nittany Lions. If you get a stop here, Matt, if you're Illinois, then Penn State's punting into the wind, and you maybe set your own offense up.
Little longer call, probably going to be, and they got a guard in the backfield sitting back there.
It's Derek Dowry, who's the backup right guard, in at fullback. In there to help on pass protection. Low throw from Hackenberg. Not there for Kyle Carter with a flag down. A couple of flags thrown in the offensive backfield.
Look at Ralph Cooper came on a blitz late and hit him. It looks like that's what they're going to call on a quarterback. Late hit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 42 on the defense. 15-yard penalty results in an automatic first down.
That's a terrible penalty for Illinois, an absolute killer. You're about to get the stop and force them to punt into the wind, and instead Penn State gets 15 yards and a first down.
They're going to call that every time. He took more than one step. He wasn't close. I mean, in the old days you'd be fine, but in today's football, you can't go near that guy.
Cole Chipiali is now the lone setback. That's the force and effect of a turnover. Hackenberg extending the play, floats it down the sideline, incomplete. Kyle Carter had a step, and just at the last second, Javaris Little helped to come over and recover. But there was a big play to be made there for Penn State, and they missed it.
Shoes, that was a perfect example of what the difference between last year and this year. I want you to watch Hackenberg when he drops, and you'll see him. He looks first, second, third, 4 people. He goes through the whole progression, and at the end, he sees it break at the back, and Carter has a chance, but it's a progression read now. That's a change from what it was a year ago under Bill O'Brien.
Second down and 10 handoff. Breaking tackles is Akil Lynch. Lost the football. It's on the deck. Who's got it? Illinois thinks they have a fumble recovery. And they do. The Illini get a takeaway in Penn State territory.
Akil Lynch had great second effort, and after the second effort, that's usually when fumbles come out. Right there, he breaks through, and then the second guy, looked like Teichma, was able to come in there and get a hand and force that ball out.
At the bottom of the pile, looked like Darius Mosley came up with the recovery. Lunt, play action fake, swings it right. Coming back to help out the quarterback, but losing 2 yards is Geronimo Allison, and boy, did Lunt get hit just as he let go of the football.
Jordan Lucas, he hides him up. He gets there just as the ball gets off.
Second down and 12. Lunt dumps it over the middle. Donovan Young dodging Penn State tacklers to about the 40-yard line. It'll be third down and a long 4. And anytime Wes Lunt gets hit, you start to hold your breath because he broke his foot his senior year of high school, a dislocated kneecap and a concussion as a freshman at Oklahoma State. And then after starting the first 4 games this year, sprained MCL, followed by a broken left leg. That forced him out for the next 3 weeks here at Illinois. So it has been an injury roller coaster for Wes Lunt his entire career. Low snap, Lunt well protected. Looks for the home run shot down the sideline. And that almost intercepted by Marcus Allen, as he did a great job to force Mike Dudek to step out of bounds, making him ineligible to catch the pass to begin with.
That is a great job of Marcus Allen. He's a safety, but he has cover skills, and he's been lining up on Dudek the whole time. Dudek's a good player, and he can run. But what he does very well is understanding how to use the sideline as an extra defender. And he forces him wide, and he stepped out of bounds, and also was able to run with him step for step.
Flags down. It looks like holding against Illinois.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 67, offense. That penalty's declined. We also have holding, offense, 71. That penalty's declined, results in fourth down.
Well, that's interesting. James Franklin opts to not take either penalty, and with the wind at the back of Illinois, fourth down and about 4.5 at the 40-yard line, and they're going to punt.
To be honest with you, I would have gone for it here. They have been able to handle Penn State. Penn State's not moving the football
that was
since
my
that
thought.
First drive. That's a chance I would take. So I'd also be aware of a fake punt right here.
And Penn State looks like they're in a safety look defensively. Yeah, they're not even going after Duvernois. And he'll send a floater down inside the 5-yard line that lands in the end zone. So that only nets Illinois about 16 yards of field position, not going for it. Well, maybe he's thinking his defense could change the game if you are able to get a punt inside the 10-yard line, except Duvernois sailed it into the end zone. Only 3 yards on first down here for Chipiali as we go down to Quinn.
Yeah, Bob, for this Illinois team looking for a spark, I mean, I would have gone for it. You think about Mikey Dudek in the slot off a pick or a rub. Lunt's pretty accurate, run some kind of option route. And this is a team that needs a spark. They need to win this game and beat Northwestern next week to be bowl eligible. What are you protecting? What are you guarding? Why are you being conservative?
I'm with you on that one, Q. I got to tell you, their defensive front right now is playing, they've taken the run game away from Penn State. Has not established anything except for that first drive.
A screen that can't be scooped up by Geno Lewis. Now it's third down and 7. And Chipielli in there at tailback for Penn State. A bit of a story as well. Bill Belton and Akil Lynch have traded 100-yard games the past couple of weeks for the Nittany Lions after they did not have a 100-yard rusher up until 2 weeks ago. And yet Belton and Lynch not out there for the last 2 possessions. It's still Chipielli in next to Hackenberg at quarterback, facing third down and 7 again. Will the Illini bring pressure? They're at least bluffing that they will. 5-man rush. Hackenberg off his back foot, throws it away. Flag down. Darius Mosley was on the true freshman Chris Godwin. Hackenberg was just trying to throw that one away. But if they rule that the contact was before the pass was thrown, whether it's uncatchable or not is irrelevant.
And that's what happened.
Holding, defense, number 24, 10-yard penalty, results in an automatic first down.
Hackenberg took a shot as well as he was just trying to get that one to the sideline.
Now these are delayed blitz. They take a long time to develop. But Hackenberg has not been very comfortable in the pocket. He's been trying to get out of the pocket. And they've been giving him room to step up into that pocket.
And he actually didn't take much of a shot at all, just kind of landed awkwardly. But he stays in despite limping after that last play as Penn State, via penalty, gets a first down. Chipielli moves the pile for close to 4 yards. Dwayne Smoot made the stop for Illinois.
Dwayne Smoot is another one like Jihad Ward. Both those guys have skills. I think Smoot, he's got some real good talent. He can get up the field. He hasn't quite figured out how to get to the edge of a pass rush all the time. But those 4 down guys, that Teitzma inside, they've played very well here today. They've struggled all season long against the run, but today, I think they're handling Penn State's offensive line.
Chipielli up the middle, and it'll be third down again. Third down and 5 coming as we go under 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half.
They are ready to Monheim right in the middle of that thing, but they are running a lot of stunts inside, and it's twists, and they're making Penn State have to. They're not able to come off the ball and just kind of power them. So you're having to read a lot of zone reads inside.
There's Bill Belton over on the sideline. He doesn't have his helmet on, and it looks like Akil Lynch is to his right behind the down and distance marker. So it's Cole Chipielli in at tailback. Hackenberg on third down. Standing like a statue, and that ball incomplete. Threw it high and wide of Jesse James. So in spite of the penalty hurting Illinois, they do get the stop, and they're about to get the football back with plenty of time before halftime.
Which is exactly why I would have gone for it on fourth down. Their defense is playing very well right now. There's protection. That ball wasn't as accurate as it should. If you put a torch in his hand, he may have looked like the Statue of Liberty right there.
Hackenberg was barely moving when he threw the ball as well. When you see the mechanics of Hackenberg, is he polished enough?
Oh yeah,
to win at the big time level?
He's not consistent enough, however.
Another knuckleball into the wind, takes a slow Penn State roll to the 32-yard line of Illinois. So only a 30-yard punt by Pasquarello, but into the wind. That's what we've seen from both punters. The wind has been a big factor on special teams. And just like that, Illinois has the ball back. With the wind at their back, can they get something going before halftime?
Well, the story here has been both defenses. And Penn State's defense has played very well, as had Illinois'. Illinois' defensive front, excellent.
And now Riley O'Toole is in at quarterback. We were told by Bill Cubitt, the offensive coordinator, and Tim Beckman that there were packages for Aaron Bailey, possibly on third down, and we expected to see Riley O'Toole in short yardage and goal line, but he's in here now to start this possession in place of Wes Lunt.
They need a spark.
O'Toole, quarterback draw. He's obviously much more of a dual threat. And they don't want Wes Lunt, with his injury history, to run the ball at all. Mike Hull makes the tackle, and we'll see if Lunt comes back in. Looks like they're going to stick with Riley O'Toole.
They've got to find something right here that they can hang their hat on. You only got 2.5 minutes to go. Let O'Toole give it a whirl. He can throw the ball pretty well, more mobile than Lunt.
There he goes again. Maybe a yard. Jason Kabinda, true freshman outside linebacker, made the stop. So now it's third down and 5.
Penn State has been able to just, here they come, 4 again.
Riley O'Toole will take off and run. And now Illinois is 0 for 7 on third down.
Now
they'll go 3 and out, and they'll have to kick it away.
Yeah, here you have to punt it. You don't want to give them a chance to be able to get points.
Penn State calls their second timeout.
The one thing I'd like to see out of Penn State, which I haven't seen on tape either, is go to a little bit more hurry-up offense and speed things up. It seems like Hackenberg is more comfortable that way.
James Franklin saves his team some time by calling timeout, so we'll step aside for 30 seconds. A free first down for the Illini. Right up the middle. It's Donovan Young spinning close to midfield, a gain of 6. Illinois still with 2 timeouts and the wind at their back, and Riley O'Toole has them set to go quickly. A little read option, Donovan Young again. Very close, and maybe good enough for an Illinois first down. It is.
Well blocked on the inside.
Illinois substituted, and as a result, the officials jump in to stand over the football, and they have to stop the play as Riley O'Toole was set to take the snap. Well, the crowd doesn't quite understand what administrative timeout means, but that is Illinois substituted. They ran a player off the field. So that means that the umpire has to jump over the football to give Penn State the right to substitute if they choose. And Illinois tried to quick snap it. So now Penn State is able to substitute, and away we go. O'Toole, Dudek is able to adjust and haul in a pass at the 36-yard line after he had slipped and fallen.
Short of the first. That's great job of Dudek of being able to come back with that catch.
Second down and short. O'Toole to the sideline. Who's got it again? It's Mikey Dudek.
It's freshman on freshman over there. Dudek is working on Marcus Allen all game long. Dudek's, he's legit. And so is Marcus Allen. That's a good job of O'Toole getting the ball out, and Dudek coming back to pick up the first.
Dudek already has broken the freshman receiving record of Aurelius Ben at Illinois, as he is now over 800 yards on the year.
Come with a cross dog on the inside, one this way, one over the top.
O'Toole saw it.
Now they got out of it. Nope.
They'll rush only 4. O'Toole, long throw down the sideline, incomplete. There was some room there for the tight end, Matt Lacoste. You wonder if the wind caught that ball and helped it float out of bounds.
They had it well defended, though. Marcus Allen was able to come over the top of that, and Lucas was sitting back underneath it. They went with 4. They showed the blitz. They got out of it. Then they sat in a zone. There was an opportunity there.
Blitz coming. O'Toole, high throw right over the middle. And inside the 10-yard line, it's first and goal as Dudek makes another catch, working on Marcus Allen. And now quickly they'll go first and goal. Out of bounds. No chance for Geronimo Allison to make a play on that ball. It'll be second down and goal. Illinois still with 2 timeouts, so they have the full playbook at their disposal. They could run it here if they choose.
Chris O'Connor is on the inside, matched up against Zettel.
Penn State again shows blitz. Dudek at the 5, reaches for the pylon. It doesn't look like he got in.
This has been all Dudek. And he's got great quickness. He knows how to get open, and they know that he does it. They've fed him the whole time on this drive. Penn State needs to get somebody and get their hands on Dudek at the line of scrimmage.
You wonder if this is 4-down territory for Illinois. It's 3rd down and goal at the 1. Penn State is a top 3 run defense, and now a timeout might be called by Tim Beckman.
Illinois calls their second timeout.
So we'll step aside for 30 seconds while Illinois discusses what they want to do on 3rd and goal. Number 1 against the run. Play action for Riley O'Toole. Flips it into the end zone, and it's there for the touchdown. Matt Lacoste, the tight end, was able to float under it and catch it for the score. And we are on the verge of possibly a halftime tie.
And so Dudek moved the chains, but the difference maker in this offense has been O'Toole. He's been the difference. He brought something that Lunt just didn't have. And whether it was his feet or his ability just to find the open guy, he's been able to do that.
Well, the run game is an added weapon for O'Toole that Lunt, for the most part, doesn't have. Normally, it's been Lunt's job when healthy. Riley O'Toole has replaced him when Lunt has been injured. But now Riley O'Toole engineers a 12-play touchdown drive. And the extra point makes it 7-all with 25 seconds to go before halftime.
So Lacoste is going to be right here. They're going to go play action, so you're going to expect to run. What you want is all this attacking. And so they do that, and they get the bite on the top side. Lacoste is able to just slip out. There's no one on him, nothing at all. He actually waited a little bit too long. But they set it up with the play action, with the power set, and Lacoste is able to just slip out into the flat.
And that all brings you back to the offside penalty called against Penn State on the punt.
Correct.
That's the force and effect of a turnover. It doesn't go down on the ledger as a giveaway, but a coach would look at that as the equivalent of a giveaway and a turnover, handing a free possession back to the opposition, and Riley O'Toole takes advantage. They turned it into 7.
And Zettel, who loves to jump the count, and he's a guy who plays on the edge all the time, and they got him on that one. And so two things have to happen in the second half. Illinois, they have to continue to use O'Toole because O'Toole has brought them something they haven't had. They need to ride that momentum. And then Dudek is a guy that has moved the chains. Penn State's got to be able to have an answer for Dudek and continue to take that run game away. But they've got to do something offensively because their offense, except for the first drive, has been non-existent.
Tuesday night, the selection committee's latest rankings will be revealed. Find out who's in. College Football Playoff Top 25 Rankings Show presented by Chick-fil-A. Tuesday night at 7 on ESPN and watch ESPN. You know, it's amazing. It gives us so much to debate, so many fun conversations we can have about who's in the top 4. But the last 3 weeks of SEC football is really going to determine who's in that top 4 as Hackenberg takes a knee. You've got the Iron Bowl. You've got the Egg Bowl. You've got the SEC championship game. And if you're Ohio State, TCU, Baylor, those kinds of teams on the outside looking in, you wait to see what the results of those games are, and that's going to determine if you can sneak in the back door and make it in the top 4.
That's exactly right. And Ohio State had a bigger jump up than I thought they would. They're actually playing pretty good football right now.
We are tied at 7. Let's go down to Quint.
Coach, what was the single key development in that first half?
Well, you know, obviously the first drive we went down, did some good things. Then we kept hurting ourselves with missed assignments and missed throws. So we got to do a better job there on offense.
Yeah, what needs to be fixed offensively?
We got to be able to establish the running game. We did a great job the first drive, and from there we started making mistakes. Jumping off sides on 4th and 4 was a huge play there at the end.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Q, thanks very much. Can just hang in there, even just keep this game tied at 7 to head to the 4th. Once they get the wind back on their side, Riley O'Toole played very, very well. Not the strong-arm quarterback that Wes Lunt can be, but with the wind at his back, he and Dudek became a very effective combination. And look at the wind beat this kickoff up. It lands.
That's live.
At the 20-yard line. It's a loose ball. That's an unintentional onside kick. Wind aided for Illinois. Do they have it at the bottom of the pile? The ball looked like it was filled with helium when it went up in the air. And Illinois has it. What a break for the Illini.
And field position. Yeah, so it's just a short kick. The up front group, it should form what we used to call the wedge, had no awareness of it. And when there's a short kick like that, you've got to go get it. You cannot let it, because it's a free ball.
That's unintentional from Taylor Zaleski, the kickoff man for Illinois. He was trying to kick that as far as he could and get it near the end zone. But boy, that looked like a golf ball wedge shot as it sailed up in the air and then backspinned out close to the 30-yard line. And Illinois gets the recovery. And it is Riley O'Toole at quarterback. What an opportunity for the Illini. There's Dudek. A gain of 6.
Okay, so Mike Dudek, whenever you have something like this and they're so one-dimensional and they're going to Dudek, what you have to do is take that dimension away. Make them play left-handed. So you've got to get somebody on Dudek, and you got to match that. And you got to eliminate him and make him go someplace else.
Right up the middle for a first down goes Donovan Young, and Quinn Kesnick down on the sideline. Q, you had a chance to talk to Tim Beckman at the end of halftime?
Yeah, and Bill Cubitt, offensive coordinator, both said that Riley O'Toole's a better fit right now for the way this game is being played. He offers the ability to run as a quarterback. He knows the offense better. He can play at a faster pace. You see as Illinois is trying to go up tempo. And he also has a relationship with Mikey Dudek. He has found him.
Ball start, offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I asked Coach Cubitt, I said, well, how come Mikey Dudek all of a sudden was a factor late in that second quarter? He says, he was getting open all game. West just couldn't find him. Riley O'Toole did, and all of a sudden the Illini are moving the ball.
So this becomes Riley O'Toole's game, it looks like, Matt, as they tried to go up-tempo there, maybe a little too up-tempo, as O'Toole tried to snap the ball before his own team was set. So now it's 1st and 15 just outside the red zone. Quick slant, tipped, and still finds its way to Geronimo Allison, the junior from Tampa. You want to talk about growing up in a tough neighborhood? The Illinois coaching staff goes to recruit Geronimo Allison at his home. They're going into the house, and Geronimo Allison's uncle's sitting on the porch. They say to his uncle, do you want to come inside and be a part of this? His uncle says, no, I'm going to stay here and watch your cars and make sure everything's okay. Donovan Young bounces it outside. Nowhere to go. A gain of maybe a yard. Now a big third down coming up at about the 13-yard line.
That's actually Wortman. That's a very good play by Wortman. He was able to hold that outside and force him going sideways to set up this third down. Because had he gotten that edge, he had a chance to score. Okay, so now it's third down. The guy you have to take out of it is going to be Dudek. So what they'll do is they'll counter him. They'll keep him off so you can't get your hands on him. And then they'll run things that forces you to back off as a defense.
The only third down conversion for Illinois. 1 for 8 in the first half, but the one was the touchdown. O'Toole, a straight drop back. Swings one in the flat. Donovan Young leaps over a man, but then pays the price at the 9. Now what do? You're going right into the wind. So this seems like it would be a chip shot field goal, and it looks like they're going to send the field goal unit out. But this field goal unit has been inconsistent, to say the least. Q, how about this decision to kick it into the wind?
This is a tough kick, as you saw that kickoff to start this third quarter. Kicking into the wind, the ball should be pushed in the Illinois sideline direction towards you, Bob, upstairs to the near side of the field.
That's Dudek right there, who can actually throw the ball.
Only a 28-yard attempt. David Reisner puts it up and puts it through. That's only his second made field goal of the season. His long before that kick was a 19-yarder. That's a big one for Illinois. And now a much more aware return group for Penn State as the ball gets caught up in the wind again. Grant Haley, much better adjustment this time and a pretty good return after the 32-yard line. Jameis Winston and number 3 Florida State trying to stay unbeaten as they host BC. It's Saturday afternoon football on ABC or ESPN2, coming up at 3:30 Eastern.
One thing you're going to get out of a Steve Adazio team is going to be tough and physical. And so that's what they'll go down and try to, in his words, I guarantee he's telling them right now, we're going to punch him right in the face. That's how he approaches every game.
First and 10 at the 32-yard line for Penn State, trailing in the game now. They have the wind at their back. And a jet sweep. And there is room for Deshaun Hamilton. He's close to the first down, brought down by Zane Petty. And Quint, what about the running back situation for the Nittany Lions?
I'm right behind their bench right now, standing behind Bill Belton. And I asked James Franklin about his availability. Left shoulder injury, could return, but unlikely. Meanwhile, Akil Lynch is also on the Pines. His case is fumbleitis after that key critical fumble, although he's back in the backfield right now.
For the first time. And here is Lynch's carry right up the gut. And he ran on that play like a rested running back as he picks up 6 yards to midfield. So Lynch coughed it up. He was replaced by Chipielli. And with Belton out of the game as well, Chipielli was only supposed to be at best a bit player today, but he played the majority of the first half.
Akil Lynch is most effective when he gets one cut and then he hits it. That's what he's a big-bodied guy. He's got decent speed, not great speed. But when he sees a crack and hits it, then he can move the pile.
2nd down and 4. Lynch just about lost the football on the exchange. Found it again and managed 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and a long one, close to 2.
You heard Quinn Kesnick talking at halftime to James Franklin about what happened in the first half. And one of the things he said was, well, he had a lot of mistakes. And that was up front in the blocking. And so what they still haven't been able to do is establish a run game. That's exactly what they wanted to do. They've still not gotten it done. And that is on the backs of that offensive line.
Akil Lynch lines up in the Wildcat. Christian Hackenberg to the top of your screen right as the decoy. And Lynch will try and run for it on 3rd down, and he moves the pile and picks up about 4 yards. So it's a 3rd down conversion for Penn State.
So what we've been seeing out of the run game for Penn State early is a lot of stuff going east and west, a lot of counters and that type of thing. At one point, an offensive lineman, what they want to do is they just want to line up and beat the guy across from them. Just come off the ball. And let's see if Diefenbach and Smith and all those guys, Mangiero, if they just have enough power to just move this defensive line.
Play action for Hackenberg. Wants the deep ball. He's got Geno Lewis. And just floats it a little too far for Geno Lewis, who couldn't lay out and make the catch. It'll be 2nd down and 10. We were talking with John Donovan, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, and he basically alluded to what you're talking about. The combination of the run game and protection. He said 1 out of every 3 or 4 snaps, Hackenberg gets protected, gets to set his feet, someone separates. But the other 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 snaps, one of those things doesn't happen. Either a receiver doesn't separate or the protection isn't there.
Which means when you do have your opportunity like that one, you have to hit it.
Jet sweep again. Hamilton brought down at midfield. Jihad Ward, the junior college transfer, was not fooled. That's a loss of 5, and now it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Jihad Ward stayed right where he needed to be. Stay deep as the deepest, and that's what he does. And he sees it right from the start. He wasn't fooling anyone. He says he's ready to eat.
I think he just wants to know what time dinner is.
Yeah.
Ward wears 17 because that's how old his mom was when he was born. He fought an uphill battle in terms of academics, being disadvantaged his whole life, but now he's here at Illinois making plays. Hackenberg rifles one over the middle, nowhere near Geno Lewis, and now it's 4th down, and Penn State will have to kick it away.
That one's on Hack also. He had enough time to be able to anticipate Lewis coming inside. Now, there is an issue sometimes that the receivers don't separate, but this time is not going to be that case. You're going to watch, he's going to get leverage. You're going to hold the outside. That means the inside is where the throw has to be. There's time to be able to make the throw. Hackenberg missed it.
Hackenberg opened the game 3 for 3 with a touchdown. He's 2 for 10 since. Ascarello, the end-over-end kick, and it's into the end zone. 10-7 lead. And they go back to work inside their own 20-yard line, and out to about the 24 goes Donovan Young, a gain of 4. Mike Hull was there to bring him down.
Tell you what else has gone to the Dogs is the Penn State offense. And they have not done anything. But if they could play consistently like Mike Hull plays, they would be one of the top offenses in the Big Ten.
Riley O'Toole, quarterback run. Boy, does he get hit hard by Mike Hull. Anthony Zettel was there as well. It's a gain of 1, 3rd down and 5. And all these 3rd downs now in the 3rd quarter become much more important even than normal for Penn State, because they'll be going into the wind in the 4th quarter. So as this clock winds down, It's wasting away opportunities to get the ball back for their offense with the wind at their back.
There he is. There's your chain mover.
That's Dudek. He's matched up on a safety in Adrian Amos. Three-man rush. O'Toole, long throw to the sideline,
Great
perfectly
play.
played by Amos.
Amos played that perfectly right from the snap. You're going to watch him. He's going to have inside coverage. He's going to try to undercut him, understanding that he has help to the top if something happens. But watch, get to the inside. Now he's going to undercut it. The reason he can do that is because he had a safety sitting up high, and anything underneath he could play. That's very well played by Amos.
Amos is the much less celebrated senior behind Mike Hull on that Penn State defense, but they've both been invited to the Pro Bowl, to the Senior Bowl, I should say. Someday they'd love to play in the Pro Bowl.
The heck of a jump if you could make it.
In just these last couple of weeks of the regular season. Back to the offense goes Penn State, and grinding out about 2 yards is Akil Lynch as we check in with Adnan.
Tackle made by Jared Clemens.
Well, it's Illinois right now leading Penn State 10-7. 6:40 to go in the third quarter, and Hackenberg with another handoff to Akil Lynch. And they might be in a throwing situation again, as it will be 3rd down and 4. And Q, how about how Hackenberg has handled what has been a rough stretch since really the opening drive?
Yeah, he's struggling, and his body language and his demeanor, kind of moping, almost in a funk or a daze. And I know he's only a sophomore. Somewhere along the line, though, he's got to transition into being a team leader, you know, to walking up to his offensive line, to talking to some of these young receivers. I think he's still kind of just worried about himself. He's on the phone a lot and talking to their offensive coordinator, John Donovan.
And he could do that by getting completions.
He runs right into the rush again on 3rd down.
And nowhere to go.
Ward gets the sack. And now it will be Penn State, again with the wind at their back, but kicking it away again.
They had nowhere to go with that football. Late, it was going to come low underneath. But what you're going to see, you're going to see, here, he's coming off this edge. But what he's looking at downfield is there's no place to go with the ball. He had 2 guys on the outside covered, and then late, you had a guy coming across in a drag, and you can't throw it anywhere.
Pretty looking punt from Pasquarello, but returnable for Dudek. Good coverage for Penn State. They bring him down at the 27-yard line. So a 48-yard punt, only a 3-yard return. But the more that Illinois gets this game, with the wind being a factor towards the 4th quarter with a lead, right now they've scored the only points in the 3rd quarter, and yet they'll have the wind at their back in the 4th.
Yeah, and so Penn State is stubbornly running the football. And what they're missing is, like you said, they have the wind at their back right now. Going into it into the 4th quarter, that's going to, now, Hack's ball still cuts the wind, but it's just going to be that much tougher, especially if you're throwing into tight coverage.
Nothing on 1st down for Josh Ferguson. Tyrone Smith got help from Jason Kabinda.
Yeah, but Nassib made the play. Nassib came off the edge and just blew everything up and slowed it down, and then the others were able to come up and make the play. That's excellent get-off by Nassib off that corner.
Ryan Nassib's younger brother, Carl, redshirt junior defensive end for Penn State. 2nd down and 12. Jumping in the neutral zone was Zettel.
Like
check that. That was Nassib that jumped off sides.
Yeah, he jumped.
Offsides, defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
So we apologize to Penn State fans watching the broadcast, as that is a perfectly executed announcer jinx. As soon as we talk glowingly about Nassib, he's in the neutral zone. It costs his team 5 yards. So now it's 2nd down and a much more manageable 7 for Illinois. Dudek in motion. That doesn't fool Penn State at all, and there's nothing there.
That was
on the dive left. Jordan Lucas comes up along with Nassib, and they shut that play down at the line.
That's because it's a great call. They're bringing the corner, and they ran right into the blitz. And they have no place, they have no one to account for coming off the edge with the corner. That's Jordan Lucas, who just, good call. They just defense coordinator Shoup took him right into the play.
So now it's 3rd down and 8. The closest man, and the trips to the near side right is Dudek. Blitz coming again. O'Toole sidearms one to Dudek, but he can't make it to the 1st down marker.
That's on Dudek. And he knew, he saw the pressure, he knew he was going to be free. He had to get to the sticks, and he sat down because it was going to be a hot. Now see, the pressure's going to come right there. And so O'Toole is going to get rid of the ball quickly, but Dudek sees this. Dudek sees it. He needs to get here, not there. The reason he doesn't get there is because it's a hot and he has to sit down and let the quarterback get to it quickly. So that really, it's a nice defensive call and it works.
Duvernois, that's a good punt into the wind. Pins it up against the sideline, so no chance for a Della Valle return. And it's out of bounds at the 23-yard line as we take a look at the latest dish brought to you by Dish Network. Wisconsin taking on Iowa in Iowa at 3:30. Ranked versus ranked in the Pac-12 coming up on ESPN as well, Arizona and Utah. And you talked about Steve Addazio and Boston College and what Florida State is going to expect. They're going to get a steady dose of physical football.
Yeah, they will.
But boy, FSU, every challenge that has been presented to them this year, including a handful of halftime deficits, Jameis Winston, that group, they just find a way to get the job done in the second half.
Yes, they do, each and every week.
Play action for Hackenberg. Buys time on the rollout, and it's underneath. The tight end, Mike Gesicki, bumped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 7.
Okay, so if you look at the concept of what they're trying to do, and I understand, get Hack out on the edge. He can throw the ball well on the run. But if you look down the field, you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself into the sideline. Right now, I think they just need to try to find some kind of a rhythm.
Lynch comes up short of the 1st down. So now what does John Donovan call on 3rd down and 1? Well, normally, if you look at the numbers, the way Penn State's ran the ball the past couple of weeks and the way Illinois statistically this year has failed to stop the run, you'd just say plow right up the middle and pick up the 1st down, but they haven't been able to do that today.
Not today. Titesmith, 44 on the inside, has played himself a very good game. We haven't really said much about him, but he's been one of those guys that's just been money inside.
And they'll go Wildcat with Lynch to try to create a numbers game on 3rd down. And Lynch met, but gets the 1st down. Clayton Fagellum was there first for Illinois, but he had already picked up the yard before Fagellum was able to make any contact.
Okay, I want you to watch after the ball, after he has the fake, look at his eyes, he's up. Now he kind of, right there, all he's doing is hesitating and he's looking for the hole. And he has his option inside depending on what happens. And that time he does a nice job. Donovan Smith clears that edge and he's able to get the 1st.
Lynch grew up in Toronto and then came just across the border to suburban Buffalo to go to high school. A reverse. Geno Lewis takes off and picks up a yard.
Missed
Looked like he wanted
opportunity.
to throw it downfield, but pulled it down when he didn't feel as if he could get it deep to Deshaun Hamilton.
Deshaun Hamilton was deep, but here's the other thing. This was a missed opportunity by Christian Hackenberg as well, because if Hack makes a block, they're going to start coming this way and then they're going to come back. Watch Hack right here. He's in perfect position. Just shield him. He does nothing with it. If he shields him, he has nothing but green to run.
Or throw. It was man-for-man coverage for Hamilton. Instead, on 2nd down and 9, pounding up the middle is Lynch. I said he grew up in Toronto. It's not where you expect to get a running back from, but he was a good football player that came across to suburban Buffalo and became the New York State Gatorade High School Player of the Year, playing a couple of years at St. Francis. The only points into the wind in the 3rd quarter scored by Illinois. Penn State, with the wind at their back, shut out in the 3rd quarter, and they had to start the 4th. 3rd down and 4. Hackenberg with a play-action fake. Checks down underneath, and there is Jesse James, the tight end. 6'7", 255 pounds, and he moves the chains.
All right, so the call's good. So they're anticipating man coverage, which they get on the outside and inside. So they go play action to the inside. James blocks down, then gets out. That's a tough one to pick up from the coverage perspective, because you're playing the run so hard.
Lynch, 3 yards into Illinois territory as we head back to Adnan. You start to think about how that committee is going to view Ohio State and the work they've done this year. Be very, very interesting. Hand off to Lynch, bounces it left into the secondary. There goes Lynch, makes another move in the open field. Lynch into the end zone for a Penn State touchdown.
Lynch, the ball carrier.
That was on Lynch and his vision. He started one way to the right, saw that it opened to the left, and then took advantage of it down the field. Watch, he's going to start inside here. It's designed to go right here. Okay, it shows up. Now watch him bounce to the left. And then this cut right here is the difference in the whole thing. James is able to take off the last defender, and he's in the end zone.
4th career 100-yard game for Lynch, and the 2nd in as many weeks. He had his first 100-yard game of this season last week with a $130 against Temple. Needs to be aware as well, he's part of that 2nd level of return guys. Darius Mosley along with Dudek at about the 20-yard line for Illinois, and that is where the kickoff might come down.
It blew off the tee right now, but I would not kick this in the air. I would drive this ball. I would drive this ball low and through the middle and make them have to field it from about maybe the 5, right around in that area. But you're taking a chance when it hangs in the air that something bad can happen.
You can see Dudek at the 23-yard line. Behind him at about the 10-yard line is Devin Church. The ball might not even get there. Well, this floats to the corner.
That was
out of bounds. So just trying to drive it low as best he could was Ficken, and as a result, kicked it out.
No, I don't mean drive it low. I mean on the ground.
Free
You
kick
get
out
it
of
on the
bounds.
ground and drive
The
it
ball
through
will
the
be
end zone if you
placed
can.
at the 35-yard line. First down.
If it goes all the way through. But if not, they pick it up at about the 10, and then you're fine. Instead, you get it out to the 35.
So now Illinois is down again. The Illini are 4-6 this season. Their only Big Ten win against Minnesota. They also beat Youngstown State, Western Kentucky, and Texas State. And all 3 of those wins, by the way, they trailed in the 4th quarter. They're down in the 4th quarter now to Penn State. Riley O'Toole, room to run, instead throws underneath to Malik Turner. And the freshman picks up 8 yards. So, Matt, I'm not sure what the bigger headline for Illinois is, the fact that they came back against Youngstown State, Western Kentucky, and Texas State, or the fact that they trailed in the 4th quarter against those teams.
Well, I know what the headline is going to be right now. It's O'Toole's feet is going to make a difference, and it did on that play.
Nice read by O'Toole. The late give to Donovan Young. And Young weaves his way to the 43-yard line of Penn State. Marcus Allen eventually brought him down, but that's 14 yards.
Up until that run, they only had 17 yards of rushing. And he gets just about all of that on one run.
Play action. Dudek Takes a pop and another hit. Boy, he set himself up for the second hit, but how about the ability of Mike Dudek at only 185 pounds to maintain his balance?
That last one hurt. Wardman came with a full head of steam. Watch number 5. He's going to come inside out. He takes that one on.
Ouch. 2 yards on second down for Donovan Young. So a big play here for Illinois.
And guess who's back?
He's a hockey player.
Oh, yeah. That's a good player. That's just a good football player. He's got toughness. He's got great skills. He has great awareness of what's going on. Mike Hull gets up now.
That slows things down for Illinois, as now Mike Hull is going to have the training staff come out and take a look. It looks as if he's favoring his right arm. And it looks as if Illinois might make another quarterback switch. Aaron Bailey, the sophomore from Bolingbrook, a 4-star recruit out of high school, who we thought would have some third down plays, especially when they got into 3rd and short.
He's a runner.
He is now in the game on 3rd down and 2 for the first time today. He's got Josh Ferguson to his right. So how about this decision by Tim Beckman and Bill Cubitt, the offensive coordinator? The first snap of the game for Aaron Bailey, a big 3rd down. Very close to the first down. He might be short.
He's short.
So now it's 4th down and 1 as Marcus Allen makes the stop, and you have to think Illinois is going to go for it. And they'll bring Riley O'Toole back in.
And they'll go with a play action. And they'll line up with big on big. And they'll go with play action and try to hit something after the play fake.
Well, they've got Jake Howe, a 305-pound D tackle in at fullback. There's the play fake by O'Toole. Floats one with a flag down. It is a first down if the play stands. Tyler White, the sophomore tight end, made the catch. But what is the penalty marker for?
It's going to be holding on Penn State. That's a great job by O'Toole. That's the difference in the play is all O'Toole. Because he should have been sacked, but he had figured a way to get it out.
Defense, number 10. 10-yard penalty results in an automatic first down.
He had Deion Barnes draped all over him and still was able to get the pass off.
This is all O'Toole. There's the play action fake. Barnes is on him, has the sack, but O'Toole has the wherewithal to be able to find his balance and make the throw. And that's the difference between a good play and a great play.
And you could see that was a defensive tackle in at fullback. That's a defensive tackle not used to pass protection. Jake Howe went right past Deion Barnes, never got a piece of him. Play action, O'Toole to guess who? Dudek. Close to a first down.
I don't care what they say about O'Toole, he's got it. He's got something that nobody else on this field right now has, and it's momentum behind him and confidence. And he's getting rid of the ball quickly, and Penn State better tighten the coverage up on Dudek, or he's just going to continue to eat him alive.
2nd down and 1 in the red zone now for Illinois.
There he is again.
O'Toole underneath. That's a first down catch just as the pressure was coming again. He finds Josh Ferguson, and now O'Toole gets up with a hobble.
The difference between these quarterbacks right now is O'Toole's finding an open guy. They're getting guys open. They're sitting in the zone, so there's going to be holes, but O'Toole's finding them in these holes.
You can see the crowd that's here finally has something to cheer about, but there are not many of them here. They're looking for a reason to get excited about the Illini. Down by 4, early 4th quarter. A straight handoff, and Donovan Young inside the 10 drags a tackler to the 8. You know, the worst thing, Matt, that can happen to a program is for their fan base to become apathetic. Even if they're here, if they're booing, at least they're here. This is what Tim Beckman needs. He needs his team to win an exciting game, just so the Illini fans have some reason to care about their program again. Donovan Young again. Breaks a tackle, uses the stiff arm, and eventually goes down. Marcus Allen, he was the third Nittany line to get there. It's a gain of 2.
Marcus Allen's played himself a very good game in the run game. Now, Dudek's had his way with him in the passing game, but let me tell you, that's a big kid who can run. And I want you to watch the angle that he takes. Watch him be inside out. As he has a sure tackle at the end of this thing. Full speed. That's well done. This is a big play right here on 3rd down. They've got to be able to handle Dudek, who will be in the slot to the top side.
The only Illinois 3rd down conversion was the touchdown in the first half.
It's like they're going man. There's a blitz. There's a cross.
O'Toole needs help. Wisely just throws it away.
Smart. Live for another down. Well done by O'Toole.
What will they do with that next down? It's 4th down and 4. It's a chip shot field goal, but that doesn't give you the lead.
Now you got to kick it here.
And they're going to kick it.
Yeah, you got to take the points.
So Penn State gets a stop defensively in the red zone, unless Illinois and Tim Beckman dial up a fake. David Reisner's 1 for 1. A sophomore walk-on that on the season is only 2 for 4. Kicked a 28-yarder into a swirling wind. This one downwind from only 25 yards away. He's got it. So it's a 1-point game. 8:43 to go. Taylor Zaleski. And he will, with the wind at his back, send this one 10 yards deep out of the back of the end zone. Let's head back to Adnan. All right, Adnan, thanks very much. We've got a 1-point game here in Champaign. And now the crowd that's here trying to make some noise for their defense. And this is a defense, Matt, you've been talking about it since the start. Much more so than the statistics would tell you they were able to. They have it many times today controlled this game. Play action for Hackenberg. Underneath, and controlling the ball is Kyle Carter, but there's a flag down. If the play stands, it's about a 5-yard gain.
That ball needs to come out quicker and give Carter something to do with the ball instead of running to the sideline.
Illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
So now it'll be 1st and 15 for Penn State. And later on tonight on ABC, the crosstown rivalry. Number 9 UCLA, number 19 USC. A very important game in the Pac-12 South that's now loaded with ranked teams. Saturday Night Football on ABC, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Later on tonight. 1st and 15. Akil Lynch for about 3 yards. Clayton Fagellum came up, took him on one-on-one. Lynch made Fagellum pay, but now it's 2nd down and 12.
And so the Illinois defense, they're committing people in the box. They're giving you numbers and they're saying, okay, you're going to run it, we're going to take that, and we're going to see if you're going to throw it, because right now we believe that Hackenberg is off. And so it's going to be all on Hackenberg based off what they're showing up here with numbers. Now they got both safeties back. Now you'd want to run at it.
They do try and run at it. And Lynch drags a tackler out to about the 29-yard line. So now you bring up a big 3rd down and 6. And the other thing, Matt, that seems apparent from Penn State's standpoint, they don't believe in their pass protection. The number of times they've taken Hackenberg and rolled him out of the pocket just to keep him away from the pressure, to me that's something that's also surprising. You should be able to protect against this front 7.
Yeah, because they don't really have a pass rusher. They've been countering that by bringing pressure, bringing blitzes. But he has not stayed in the pocket. He's gotten out of the pocket. There's been a pocket to step up into.
Coverage or pressure here if you're Illinois?
I'm going to bring pressure because he hasn't reacted well to it.
They do. It's a draw play. And Lynch is brought down. They crossed their blitzers up front. And Penn State tried to counter with a draw. And Lynch was tackled by T.J. Neal.
Neal's played himself a solid game here again. You're going to see the cross right there. Neal actually just hesitates because he sees the handoff. He anticipates that it's going to be that draw, and he just waits. Instead of committing, he waits for Lynch to do what he's going to do, and then he finishes it off. Well played.
Combination of Mike Dudek and Darius Mosley back deep to receive the kick. Again, it's going into the wind. Ascarello does the best he can, the end-over-end kick. And that's a pretty good one. Back to the 30-yard line, the fair catch made by Mosley.
You can see the difference, 8 completions to Dudek, but 13 out of 17. He's been the difference for this team.
Riley O'Toole on first down. Batted down at the line. So Illinois has their chance. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And this is an Illinois team that has only won 2 Big Ten games under Tim Beckman in going on 3 years. Bouncing off tackler's left and using the stiff arm beautifully again. All the way out to midfield goes Donovan Young.
That's very good balance by Donovan Young. This really should have had no chance. Zettel inside has him perfectly, but look at the stiff arm off of Hull, and then he's into the secondary, and that's a big play.
The Illini go quickly. Play action for O'Toole. Floats it to the sideline. Unable to keep a foot in was Geronimo Allison. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Dudek, for the 9th time, catches a pass from Riley O'Toole. Driven back by Jordan Lucas. 2 yards shy of a first down. And now an enormous play coming with 5.5 minutes to go. 3rd down and a little over 2.
And so what I do is I allow Dudek to be able, Riley O'Toole to be able to use his feet. Buy some time and let this play extend if you have to, and it'll be in the feet of O'Toole. So get him on the edge a little bit.
Again, Illinois has struggled on 3rd down, 1 for 13.
See the bunch on the top side, that's designed to get the defenders off of you. He's going to sit down.
He's got the first down. Catch to Matt Lacoste. Only the 2nd 3rd down conversion of the day for the Illini, but it's a big one with 5 minutes to go.
Lacoste is going to come right back inside. Remember earlier I talked to you about always sitting somebody down in front of the quarterback. That's where Lacoste goes. O'Toole finds him.
O'Toole over the middle.
Same thing.
Broken tackle, shaken and bacon is Josh Ferguson to the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 8.
All of a sudden you've got a motivated Fighting Illini offense. The whole thing is brought to you by Riley O'Toole. He's been the match that's lit this fire.
Donovan Young brought down behind the line. Deion Barnes with a loss of 1, at least, if not 2. And quickly, let's check in with Quint.
Yeah, for the first time, Matt, you said it. They're playing with a spark. They're playing with some enthusiasm, some energy. I think they actually think they can win this ball game. It's within their grasp, which at some times earlier was hard to believe. But they're playing right now like a team that you thought would come out in the first quarter today. I love their attitude right now.
Yeah, and they also have some confidence. This is a big down right here.
3rd down and 4.
Tighten your coverage up, especially on Dudek right down here in the slot.
They can't try a field goal even with the wind at their back from this far back with their kickers. Riley O'Toole out of the pocket. Across his body, and it's dropped. Malik Turner, the true freshman, couldn't hold on. Now, if you go for it with 3.5 minutes to go, you give Penn State great field position.
Yeah,
Will you try and kick a field goal?
Yeah, he's got to kick it. It's too far from here.
They're going to try a field goal.
That's a 50-yarder.
Quint, from 50 yards away, is this realistic for David Reisner?
Based on what he showed me in warm-ups, yes. Based on his track record this season, no.
He's got the wind at his back from 50 yards away to give Illinois the lead. He's made 2 already in this game. Reisner, it hooks left. It's no good. But now it's on the defense for Illinois to see if they can stop Christian Hackenberg, as they have done since the opening drive, and get the ball back to their offense one more time. Akil Lynch met after a gain of 3 on first down by Fugellum.
Fugellum's played a pretty good game here again today. And they are the reason you're hearing his name so much is because he is coming down fast. They are getting their safeties into this run game as fast as they can. So you're hearing his name quite a bit. And you're also hearing the names of like Taylor and those type of guys who are in the back there, Taylor Barton, and it's just they've played a very good game. They're taking their time in the huddle, Penn State, as they should. But they need to pick up at least 2 first downs here, Bob.
1 first down, Illinois might still have a chance. 2 first downs, the game's all but over. Lynch, well, here's the 3rd down chance, and Tim Beckman's going to spend a timeout right now before 3rd down and about 4. So with 2:39 to go, the first timeout called by Illinois, and Jameis Winston and number 3 Florida State getting set to put their unbeaten streak on the line in an ACC showdown with Boston College. Saturday afternoon football on ABC or ESPN2 coming up next here at 3:30 Eastern.
So what they've done on 3rd downs when they've been effective is they've gone with the counter and they've rolled Hackenberg out and they've given him 3 options. We saw it the last time when they threw it to Clark and Carter rather, and he got out of bounds. Remember, he threw it too late. So they'll start one way and then roll to the field, and then you'll have a back in the flat, one a little deeper, and then somebody coming across top. So it gives you 3 levels.
Do you think Illinois plays more coverage? You think they're worried about a play-action fake here? Or do you think that if Hackenberg sees, as you've talked about, a light tackle box, he might check to a run on 3rd down?
I wouldn't run it here. Now, I'm expecting I'm going to get pressure because they've been doing that. And so use it against them. Start one way, go the other.
Play action.
There it is.
Hackenberg rolls. Can he run for it? Steps out of bounds, just at the first down marker. Where do they spot him out? It looks like he's short by a half yard. They put the football down just shy of the line to make.
It's exactly what we were talking about. Hackenberg tries to get it. He got tackled by his own guy.
And how is it possible that they're not winding the clock?
Deshaun Hamilton.
That fast, they put the ball back ready for play, as Hackenberg, by going out of bounds, cost his team a little bit of time, and that'll force, I guess Tim Beckman's going to spend a timeout. Now they're going to go upstairs to the review booth and maybe check the spot of the football.
Well, Deshaun Hamilton tried to come back to get a block, and in doing so, he made the tackle on Hackenberg.
Hackenberg made at least a minor mistake, potentially, by going out of bounds here, because it cost his team a little bit of time. But he's trying to get to that first down marker as best he can. And where do you think the football is when he's knocked out?
Yeah, maybe right around here. But Darius Mosley did a phenomenal job there to get that play made. Mosley does a good job. See how he pushes Hamilton back?
Yep.
That's where he goes out, and it looks like that ball's short.
Yeah, it looks like an accurate spot.
Yeah. That's a great play by Mosley. He was being blocked, and Hamilton was trying to basketball him, and so he just took him and threw him into the quarterback. That's a really good play by Mosley.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. 4th down.
So now Illinois
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Is going to get the football back with a chance with the wind at their back one more time to see if they can pull one out of the fire against Penn State.
And so Illinois has their defense on the field, anticipating in case they do anything other than punt the ball, they're going to have their defensive front there to be able to handle it. And their defensive front has played exceptionally well here today. Better than they've played all season, and consistently right through the game. And those down 4, they've played very well. Monheim's played a good game, as has Neal.
So James Franklin will call timeout, taking as much time off the clock as he can.
Penn
And Tim
State calls their
Beckman
first timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
Opting to save his 2 timeouts for his offense to use, which means he'll have at least 1 timeout to call at some point during the drive if he needs to, and maybe that last timeout in his hip pocket so he can avoid a fire drill situation if he has to run his field goal unit out there.
Now keep in mind, he's kicking. They'll be punting into the wind. Now the last punt that he had was a pretty good punt.
Well, anything today going into the wind from any of the punters that has approached 40 yards has been a good kick.
Yeah.
So if you figure you get off about a 40-yard punt here, if that's something that Pasquarello can manage, depending on the distance of the return, Illinois is going to have at least decent field position. Let's check in with Quint.
Yeah, with the wind this punt is, but remember early in this ball game, guys, D'Angelo Bentley injured his left knee. This is a new return man for Illinois, Darius Mosley, and this is a precarious punt return with some swirling winds.
And there's times that they've had a couple of returners back there. They've put Mike Dudek back as well. There's the rugby style end-over-end kick, and a fair catch called for and made at the 27-yard line. That's a 31-yard kick. Well, now the opportunity is there for Illinois, a program that has won as many games in the Big Ten in the last 3 years as Rutgers has won this year in their first year in the league. Maryland in their first year in the Big Ten this year, they've won 3 conference games. So that's how thirsty Illinois fans are for a conference win.
And Riley O'Toole has met the challenge here today. And the difference has been his feet, and he keeps his eyes downfield, takes what the defense gives him. And so for Penn State, these 4 guys up front, they've got to get pressure. They've got to be able to have coverage on Dudek, who's up here in the slot.
Four-man rush. O'Toole looking for the home run ball to Dudek, and he's got him at midfield. What a big play to start the drive over the middle for Illinois. A gain of 25.
So they're playing a zone, and in every zone there's going to be holes. And if you allow a receiver like Dudek to just run through your zone untouched, that's what happens.
Up to 114 yards for Dudek. O'Toole to the sideline, and that's complete to the 30-yard line. Marchie Murdoch makes the catch.
Murdoch again just finds the hole in the zone, on top of the flat defender and in front of the deep third.
Dudek's in the slot left. They can run it now, and they will with Ferguson. Josh Ferguson inside the 15-yard line, down to the 14. 1:12 to go. And now if you're Penn State, you might have to think about using your timeouts. You only have 2 left.
You better walk somebody out on this guy right here.
What is the rush for Illinois? Breaking tackles to the 10-yard line is Ferguson. I would think if I were Illinois now, Matt,
I'd slow down.
Slow down and take as much time off the clock as you can.
As much time as you can.
And now Penn State will call a timeout. That's a smart move by James Franklin.
Penn State calls timeout, their second.
Because now the clock is on Illinois' side, and yet they're still going, hurry up.
I can't say enough about Riley O'Toole today. Riley O'Toole came in, and it was a question mark, like, why are they going to him, especially now? And the difference was him. He brought something they did not have, and he gave him a spark, and he continued to do it, and he kept on finding the open receiver. Now, a lot of that is he's just taking what the Penn State defense is giving him. They're going to check to see if his knee is down here, which it is. So it'll be right there on that spot.
So that, on a replay review, if his knee is ruled to be down, and right there it certainly looks as if his knee is down,
is under further review.
that would cost Illinois a handful of yards, but still well within field goal range, the Illini, with 56 seconds to go.
Yeah, there's the knee down.
And the lonely life of a kicker. David Reisner, if we pull back, you'll see there are no other Illini anywhere near the sophomore walk-on who has made a couple of kicks today. But Tim Beckman opted to try a 50-yard field goal that's twice as long as any kick basically that Reisner has made since taking over in week 3 against Texas State. It was an ill-advised decision at the time, but the defense did their job, and now Reisner is right back, certainly in any field goal kicker's comfort zone, as Illinois is in the red zone with under a minute to go.
There's Bill Cubitt, the offensive coordinator. I thought he's called a great game here today.
What does he call here? You've got a very inexperienced kicker who's made a couple today, but is this just center your field goal kicker up?
No, you got 56 seconds. 2nd and 5. You're going to run the football here.
Right.
You're going to run the ball, and you're going to try to get the first down.
After further review, the runner's knee was down at the 17-yard line. It will be 2nd down at the 17-yard line.
So that takes the ball from inside the 10 back to the 17 and makes it 2nd down and long.
And the play call doesn't change. You're going to run this football, and you're going to just. And now, if you want to get a little dicey, you let O'Toole have a keeper. He hasn't shown that all day. You've been handing it off inside.
Because the runner's knee was down, the clock should have stopped at 1:04. State called the timeout at the end of that play. Please reset the game clock to 1:04. Penn State has been charged with their 2nd timeout.
That's a timeout that certainly James Franklin wanted to call. And that will give the Nittany Lions 8 more seconds. So now Penn State down to 1 timeout remaining. And if you give O'Toole looks outside the pocket and he starts to roll one way or the other, you start to bring where the ball is spotted for the field goal into play on what you call on 3rd down. It's interesting how Bill Cubitt handles this, as they'll go with an I formation. Josh Ferguson is the I back. A straight handoff, and he's brought down. Now Franklin will call the final Penn State timeout. Penn State thought for a moment the ball popped out, but Ferguson is ruled down, and barely any time comes off the clock.
Penn State calls their 3rd and final timeout.
So you run it again here. You just line it up.
This is a 30-second timeout.
And you let the 25-second clock run all the way through.
Were you a pat the kicker on the back guy as a player, or were you a leave the kicker alone guy as a player?
I left him alone, and if he made it, you punched him. And if you didn't make it, you punched him anyway.
Please reset the game clock to 59 seconds. 59.
So it's 3rd down. And if you just center up your kicker right now and don't gain any more yardage, you're looking probably at about a 36-yard field goal attempt to put Illinois on top. And because Penn State's out of timeouts, depending on how many seconds come off the clock on the run play for Illinois, and they can take the clock down well inside of 20 seconds before stopping it and having a chance to kick what would all but amount to a game winner. Penn State would really need a miracle then. Out of timeouts and under 20 seconds to go. So Illinois, it turns out, held on to timeouts they didn't even need. And Penn State was the team that needed the timeouts to try and put time on the clock for their offense. Hand off to Young, right between the hash marks, and the clock starts to wind down. We wondered if David Reisner would get another opportunity, and here it is.
There'll be about 10 seconds left tops.
Quint Kesnick is down on the field, and Quint, unless the wind is swirling all day, it's basically been going to this end of the field at the back of the kicker. I'd have to think it's only going to help Reisner?
Yes, that's exactly right. One add-on, though. As you saw with his long kick, this ball will be pushed to the left. I was told before the game that all the wind in this stadium, when it goes right to left, ends up in this lower left tunnel. So if he puts this ball up into the air, it's going to be pushed towards the Illinois sideline
Illinois
left.
calls
He
their
may want to
second
play this
timeout.
kick slightly right to left. Bob, as a golfer, you know exactly what he's looking at.
I know what he's looking at. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's the wind. And inside here, you're going to see to the right. See how it's pushing that way? So exactly what the cue says is 100% right. And it's picking up a little bit right in that end zone.
David Reisner, only a sophomore, but he's trying to keep on senior day the seniors' careers alive. Because if Illinois wins this game and they get to 5-6, they've got their rivalry game with Northwestern coming up Thanksgiving weekend. If they're able to somehow find a way to win that game, they'd have a shot to keep their season alive and play in a bowl. And that's what Tim Beckman told us. His entire focus now is giving his veteran players a chance to play some more football. So here it is.
Well, Riley O'Toole on senior day, as a senior, played a phenomenal game.
36-yard attempt to give the Illini the lead. He's got it.
That's a huge kick for Reisner and a big kick for this program because they need that win. And you know, he did exactly what Quint was talking about. He knew he had to push it a little to the right with that wind, and this time it stayed straight and he was able to tuck it inside that goal post.
In Tim Beckman's first year at Illinois, they didn't win a Big Ten game. They were 0-8. Last year, 1-7 in the league. Coming into today, 1-5. So barring a miracle, it's going to be a second Big Ten win for Illinois this season under Tim Beckman. How many wins he would need to be able to continue to run this program, who knows, but every step forward helps, and now with 8 seconds to go, barring a miracle, Penn State, without any timeouts, is going to blow the lead here in the fourth quarter against Illinois.
There are some unsung heroes here that need to be talked about. This defense, they held Penn State to under 250 yards of offense. They got pressure consistently. Riley O'Toole, who was an afterthought, came in and provided exactly what this team needed. And then Dudek was the guy you knew was going to make plays, and he made them all game long.
A few yards deep in the end zone, taking a knee, is Grant Haley. So no time comes off the clock. Unless Penn State can get to the sideline quickly, they probably only have one snap left.
You got one throw, that's it. That Dudek kid, that's a good player. He's got 3 more years. You're going to hear a lot of his name break a lot of records here at Illinois. I don't know if you can get any deeper than where Illinois' secondary is right now. That's not their secondary. It's back further.
Hackenberg throws one over the middle, and there's the relay. A little pitch and catch, hook and ladder. Throwing it across the field is Akeel Lynch. Deshaun Hamilton is blown up, and that ends the game. When you haven't won much, you react the way that the Illinois Fighting Illini are enjoying their second Big Ten win of the season. In come-from-behind fashion, they beat Penn State 16-14.